Hello, and welcome you all to the fresh episode of Mind Life Bliss. Today we are discussing on a very sensitive topic, single child versus siblings. There is a very common say that the single child is often more selfish than someone who has siblings. People believe that they are spoiled and lonely, but just think about it. Children being their first priority, parents usually try innovative activities and spending quality time with them. It's quite natural that all parents wants to provide the best possible upbringing to their child. And many new age parents, they are planning everything in advance for their child. And during this planning, they often strikes with one question, whether to have a single child or more than one. Usually, this is a topic of discussion among young couples. And what is usually seen in the society that the society perceives parents of single child as criminals and the single child as a victim. So today we are here to discuss this very sensitive topic, single child versus sibling, and we'll try to find out the perspective, the insight of our young guest. We are not here to give any judgments or any kind of conclusions on this topic. The sole purpose of this podcast is just to share the views of today's young generation, how they feel being a single child or having a siblings. So without a further delay, we are just starting this podcast. So hello everyone. Welcome to this very interesting podcast wherein we will be discussing a very sensitive topic, single child versus siblings. And we are very happy to welcome our young guest today, Mahi Chaudhary. Hello Mahi,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good. So should we start?
Yeah, sure.
Feeling excited?
Very.
Nice. So before we start, can you just introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Mahi Chaudhary. I'm 12 years old. I study in 7th grade. I'm a student of Delhi Public School, Faridabad. Some of my hobbies are reading, singing, and sketching. Along with these, I also enjoy participating in theater, debates, and speeches. I'm a studious but a fun loving and extroverted person.
Interesting. Very interesting. So you are a blend of so many things. I believe that
Yeah.
discussion would going to be so interesting. So
Yeah.
Mahi, I'm moving to my first question today. You understand the topic. That's no doubt that's a very critical topic. And it is often said nowadays that parents gives a lot of affection to the single child. And as a result, the single child becomes spoiled and less focused. That's a common say nowadays. So, what's your feeling about this? What's your observation about this?
Personally, I have never faced this. My parents have always loved me, pampered me, have tried to give everything that is possible to me as much possible. But they are very particular about my academics, and I have never and have they have never shown leniency in that aspect. Though talking about people around me, this could be an issue. A single child tends to take advantage of their parents' love. So talking about one of my friends, she told me that she really wanted this phone, like because these days all teenagers need a phone, but her parents weren't allowing it. Said let you let become a little more responsible, and then maybe we'll give you a phone. But she was sad about this. She locked herself into her room, especially so that her parents were like would show sympathy to her, just so that. But so they did. They showed her leniency, and that is how she forced her parents to buy her a phone. But I wouldn't say that I wouldn't also be doing this, because at times, like unintentionally, it does happen. Like an example about my a story. So what had happened was that there was an opportunity coming up that I really wanted to travel, as I had not like traveled in a while. So I asked my parents, but they weren't really keen on traveling at that point in time. So I was sad, like not that I wanted any sympathy for my parents, or nor did I want my parents to relent, but then they saw that sadness on my face and they couldn't bear that. So then they made arrangements. But I don't think that has led me to become spoiled or anything in that kind of a manner, for me at least.
Yeah, so even I cannot see the introduction which you gave. So it nowhere indicates that the single child is spoiled. Very nice, fantastic. So we are moving ahead. We are moving with one more study, which is showing that if you are having younger siblings, so they reduce the life satisfaction in the age of teens, because what happens, the attention of parents, it shifts towards the younger one, and the elder one feels a little isolated, little detached. So can you just elaborate this situation? Is it actually true what is being reflected in this study?
Yeah, so speaking from experience, I have seen this happen very frequently actually. The elder child always feels as if they're less loved and paid less attention to. I wouldn't just say this is the case with every family because every family is different, but a major faction of them have this problem. There could be another case to this as well. One parent might love one child more than the other, but the other parent might be balanced. This could be another situation. But talking about people around me, I have many close friends, and I have seen this happen to them. So at times, what happens is like, so there's a very close friend of mine. Her, she has this sibling. So her sibling would be like trying to interfere into her life, saying that, oh, I want to play with your friends, whenever her parents would be out. This is like the case with almost all younger siblings. So then she doesn't want to, but her parents are like, come on, have to like include him as well, you can't do this. So that literally makes the child feel like I'm less loved maybe, or something, and reduces their happiness at times, I will say, because I've seen this happen with my very close friends, and I can understand her, like what she's feeling. Because when like, even though I'm a single child, but sometimes my cousin comes over, and I feel the same happening to me. Like my parents are paying more attention to her and stuff, but I don't think I'm ever jealous of her as such, because I know that my parents, they are my parents after all, and they would love me. But this could affect
Fantastic.
elder siblings.
Fantastic. I love that my parents are my parents. They love me. Tell me more. Very nice. Very nice. So now, from this little introductory questions, I'm moving to a little intense question now. So how do you see? How does it different growing up with siblings and being an only child? See, there are many theories, many researched, which claim that the single child is introvert, possessive, antisocial, anti-sharing, and self-obsessed as well. It's a written studies, and definitely the studies were being conducted at times before, but now the new generation is going. So I just want to know your views about it, the views of today's generation about it. Little
First of all,
intense
I would like to
question.
say, like, a person, yeah, yeah, a person can be self-obsessed even if they have a sibling. It is not only a case with a single child. Anyways, jokes apart, this really depends on how your parents have raised you up. As for me, in my early stage, my parents always used to force me to attend birthday parties, encourage me to participate in school assemblies. I used to attend Buddhism meetings with my grandmother. So wherever they could like make me participate in something, they would force me to. You have to do this, ma. You have to increase your social circle. You have to have many friends because you are a single child. Um, I feel that is what resulted into me becoming an extroverted jazz, like I even told in my introduction. And now I love sharing my thoughts, and I always want so many friends around me. But I also feel that a single child should try making more and more friends, because they, as they don't have a sibling, so they should try increasing their social circle so that they don't feel lonely. But talking about experience, single child can be introverted as well. There are cases, because a very close friend of mine, she was like very introverted, antisocial, um, but then we slowly became friends, and she was, and I told her that you need to increase your social group as you might feel lonely because of this. So slowly and slowly she started making more friends, and now she has become way more social. So I think we
Oh,
should encourage our
okay.
friends who are
Got it.
single children.
So what I am getting from your reply is that the role of parents is very important.
Exactly.
It's not a written formula. 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. That single child will be introvert. It's not a mathematical formula like this. It depends on the
Exactly.
upbringing of the child. It depends on the atmosphere of the family. That how you are growing up, how you are helping the child to interact with the society, no matter whether the child is single
Exactly.
or having siblings. Perfect. Very nice.
Yes.
One more example I'm quoting here in the form of a question here. Uh, there is a comparison that the elder siblings can be your very good coach, your personal coach, but they can be your worst nightmare as well. Having a sibling can help you prepare for chaos. It can be a fun or it can be a terrified kind. And having a controlling sibling in your life can make it very hard for you to socialize outside of your family because the elder one starts dominating the younger one. That's also the scenario which has been seen. So, we are seeing both the sides of the coin. The siblings are beneficial as well, they are supportive as well, but yes, they can cut you from the outside circle as well. They start dominating you as well. So, on what factors this kind of outcomes will depend? Who plays a major role in having such kind of outcomes?
Yeah, so there could be a few factors that are responsible for this, I think. One factor could be the age gap, I feel. If the age gap is 5 or 6 years, the elder sibling could be a mentor and help us in life decisions. Whereas if the age gap is 1 or 2 years, the elder sibling may not be able to teach us many things, and it can be our worst nightmare, like can be really mean to us at times. Another factor could be the way the elder sibling may have been raised by their parents. If they are raised in a controlling environment, they would impose that on the younger sibling as well. Um, Another factor I could think of is they the number of family members. If there are a lot of family members in your family, like grandparents always have this issue of spoiling their little children, and that
I just
exactly.
pause you. Grandparents are also listening and they will make it a point that they play a very important role in spoiling. Continue. Continue.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I'm saying it in a bad manner. They're just trying to pamper us,
Yeah,
show
I
us their love.
understand.
But yeah,
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
So the elder child or the younger child may have a bad influence then on the other one. So I feel these are some of the factors that may be responsible for that.
Very nice reply. Okay, so now straightforward. The next question we are moving. Nowadays, the parents are so aspiring, and it is often seen that parents become too attached to their child's success, and nothing wrong in that. But they try to live up their dreams through the child, and wherein they try to create a lot of pressure on them. So, just want to know your perspective about that. That when it's a single child, so a complete pressure, 100% pressure goes to that child. And when they are siblings, so that's my perception that the pressure might be getting divided. So, what you feel that parents will remain parents no matter whether the single child or there are two or three, the parents will remain equal. There will not be a mathematics rule that if there is 1 to 100%, if there is two or three, so it would be divided. So, what's your views about it?
Again, I feel this depends from parent to parent. Not all parents pursue like force their children to pursue a particular profession and give their child a freedom to choose their own profession. Whereas there may be some parents, I think many parents, who try to control their child's life and force them to pursue something they like. The children might not want to, but the parents want their children to. I feel in such case the responsibility does get divided in siblings, and all the pressure is on the single child. But again, it varies from parents to parents. Uh, there is another case that can be there. So if suppose there are two parents, like there are two children, and the parent is seeing that one is more academically or whatever is better than the other one, so they would try, like putting all their efforts and putting, like you said, like whatever
They're all
they want
efforts,
to,
they're all
like
energies. Yeah.
exactly all their energy on that one, that the one who is better. So that could also be a case. Like talking about some children in my school, I've seen this happen, like those who have siblings, and the parents, like the parents know that one is better than the other, then they try to put all the force on that one child. So another thing, like I would say, like my parents at times also tell me to pursue a particular profession that I don't want to, but still I was like, I will continue to do whatever I like, and they supported me in that. So I feel the parents should teach their child to be going on the right path and give them the freedom to choose their profession when they grow up.
Excellent. I would just speak that sentence again, that parents should give the freedom to their child to think, to invent, to fly, and to live their dreams. Excellent. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents just need
Moving.
to tell
Yeah.
that child that you have to go on the right paths. That's all.
Perfect. Very nice. Very nice. I believe the parents would be getting a lot of insight from this discussion. I'm 100% sure. Now, moving to again a little difficult question. Our society, our social circle always keeps on reminding us the biggest disadvantage of everything. And the same case applies in the case of a single child. They say that the single child might be feeling lonely, nobody is having to play with, to whom the single child will share the thoughts, the memories. It's always lonely. They keep on reminding us that thing again and again, again and again. So is it actually true? Is a single child actually feels like that, lonely, sad, depressed always, nobody is there to play? Is it the actual situation?
I don't think it is that extreme. At times, though, it does get lonely. You see, like during vacations time when you don't have friends around you, it does. But whenever I'm around my friends, I feel really happy, and I forget at times that I'm an only child. So I feel like my friends are kind of like my brothers and sisters, and they always are there to support me and always there to give me good advice. Being a single child is not that bad. It is not like they're always depressed. But the main thing you should keep in mind is you should have a good friend circle. They are always there to support you in such cases.
Good. So, though we are discussing this topic a lot, so according to you again, what is the best part of being a single child and the worst part?
Okay, so there are many advantages, I feel. Like like you don't have to share things, you get all the love and affection of your parents. Um, and one more thing, like when they are siblings, the younger child always wants to interfere into your life, like I told you, and the lives of the elder children. Which is not the case with a single child. Like I told you, whenever my cousin comes to stay in for a very long time, she's like always has a comment on whatever I do, and tries to like. She was there in my get together party, like I want to be with your friends, and at times it does feel like, oh my god, I wish it wasn't like this. But another advantage I feel could be there's no comparison. That is another main thing I feel. Also, for disadvantages, as you asked me, as I told you in my previous question answer, that it does get lonely at times, like when the friends are not around you. So that could be a disadvantage of not having siblings.
I like the honest replies. Very, very well said. And we are moving little towards the end of our discussion. So, finally, what is your message to the society? Number one, the society who keeps on telling repeatedly, because I never find any person who is telling the advantage of being a single child. In that discussion, you have narrated many n number of n number of advantages you have narrated today, but your message to the society who keeps on reminding us always the disadvantages, the wrong side or the black side of the coin, if I should say in that way. And your message to the parents, that's very, very important, Mahi. Your message to the parents, So that, because that's a very, very difficult decision for the parents. So that your message will help them to take that most difficult decision of their life. So your message, number one, to the society, number two, to the parents.
I feel my message is suitable for both the society as well as for the parents. My message would be, this decision basically should depend on your circumstances. If you can give a child a wholesome life, good education, and groom them very properly, you should definitely go for one more than one child, as they can act as a companion for each other. However, like, to those people who say like being a single child is depressing and all, it is not that bad being a single child. As I mentioned, there are so many advantages. At times it could be even more fun than having a sibling.
Wonderful, wonderful replies. And I believe after this intense discussion on such a difficult topic today, first of all, Mahi, thank you so much for discussing such a sensitive topic, such a difficult topic in a beautiful, smiling, and a good replies. My message to the listeners, to the viewers after this discussion and the conclusion of this young girl's perspective about this difficult topic is, it depends only on parents, how we are perceiving the situations. Having a single child or siblings depends on many factors. It could be medical, it could be financial, it could be emotional, it could be many, many factors. Certainly, the decision lies totally with the parents. But if your child is a single child, he or she is not a victim. If you are having more than two child, you are spending equally joyful time with both of them. So, yes, again, everything depends on the parents, how they are taking up their child, how they are giving them the advantages, and how beautifully, lovingly they are helping that those little bombs to grow up in their lives. Thank you so much, Mahi. Thanks a lot for this discussion. Any other things from your side?
No, I feel like exactly like if your circumstances are good and you can provide a child with a companion, might as well, but a single child shouldn't become a victim, and it is kind of fun being a single child.
Excellent.
Though
So, if
increase your circle, like social circle as a single child, I would feel it is very important.
perfect, perfect. So, if any one of our listeners and viewers feel that they are having an interesting topic and they also want to come on this podcast and share their views, which is beneficial to everyone, so please write to us on the mail ID, which is mentioned in the description. You can even send us a mail, you can call us, and tune into Spotify and YouTube for this episode. Thank you, Mahi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.